Things are a little rockier for a different Trump appointee, Pete Hegseth, nominee for Secretary of Defense and veteran of multiple tours with Captain Morgan. Last week, his nomination looked like it was in big trouble, probably because people were worried he'd have to blow into a breathalyzer before entering the Situation Room. But let's check in on how it's going now.
After a rocky start, Pete Hegseth, President-elect Trump's intended choice to lead the Pentagon, is on the rebound.
He's much better off this week than he was last week.
Some Republicans, including ones like Senator Tommy Tuberville out of Alabama, someone who's very close to Donald Trump, have brushed off these reports of excessive drinking.
Is he a drunk? I mean, does he hang out in bars every night? Does he drink for lunch and dinner and breakfast?
Does he piss martinis and shit olives? No? Well, then give this man security clearance. I'm sorry, but he's not drunk every second of his life. It's a pretty low bar. Which, by the way, is the only bar that Pete Hegseth hasn't been thrown out of. Look, you can argue what the exact definition of a drinking problem is, but I think a good barometer is everyone in the country talking about how much you drink? Then you probably have a drinking problem. So that's one excuse for putting Hegseth in charge of the Defense Department. But let's hear another one from Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. Yes, that's his name.
What I'm saying is, when you're talking about drinking at 10 in the morning, that's a drinking problem. Now, it doesn't mean that there should be a stigma.
Then there's a lot of politicians that have a drinking problem, Jake.
Yes, of course. But I guess my question is...
Yeah, and then there's probably a lot of media that has a drinking problem, too.
Yeah. A lot of people have drinking problems, but they're not trying to run the Pentagon. So, yeah, it's different. It's different. And you agree. That's why you're clapping. It's like he's saying, oh, nobody cared about my drinking before I got behind the wheel, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah. Ultimately, it's worse if you're an alcoholic in certain jobs. Like, you don't want to have an alcoholic pilot, but a drunk Daily Show host? I mean, what's the worst that happens? I pee myself behind the desk, and I need LaToya to bring me new pants right now. LaToya, new pants. LaToya, new pants. But even if he's confirmed, Pete seems to understand that being blackout drunk 23 hours a day might be a problem, which is why he's offering to change.
He's been telling members of the Senate Republican Conference that if he were confirmed as Secretary of Defense, he would not drink alcohol at all. He would abstain from drinking.
This is the biggest deployment of my life, and there won't be a drop of alcohol on my lips while I'm doing it.
It's good enough for me. When has an alcoholic ever promised to do better and not followed through? What a deal. Just put me in charge of the largest military in history, and I'll stop drinking. By the way, Jell-O shots don't count as drinking. That's eating. That's a solid. And it seems like it's good enough for Donald Trump, too.
The fact that there are these allegations against him, the fact that he said to some senators reportedly he'll stop drinking if he gets this job, does that worry you?
No, I think that everybody has something that they can stop. Some people can stop eating. I'm lucky I'm not a drinker, but I could stop eating.
All right. I think I speak for everyone when I say, sir, no, you couldn't. All right?